there. Preseason preview. First up tonight, Cincy in Philadelphia. Zach Taylor changing his preseason philosophy for the slow-starting Bengals, saying that Joe and the Stars will play, quote, several series. Okay. Brew, you've got the Bengals on the outside looking in on the playoffs, but it's not predictions week. You have it in pencil. Anything they can do to move you one way or the other tonight?
Yeah, look, I think there's going to be two playoff teams, at least right now, out of the AFC North. That's how I feel. And it's going to be them or the Steelers for that second spot. I'm pretty close on both right now, but look, Burrow, I'm just glad he's playing. I'm glad he's healthy in training camp. I'm not going to read too much into the preseason games, but I'm glad that they're playing, doing something different than they have the past several years when they've started off slowly. And if he stays healthy, I know he's going to be good if he's healthy, and the offense in general. I'm really looking at the defense, and I get it. Again, it's a preseason game. Who knows how long the starters will even be out there. But if I can see their defense when both teams have first, second teams in there and the Bengals aren't getting demolished, then honestly, I think that'll be a good sign for Cincinnati.
Yeah, for me, it's all about the defense. We know who they are offensively. I don't think there's a lot of questions surrounding them. The only thing that really surrounds them is health, because that's where the injuries typically happen on that side of the ball with their marquee players. But defensively, like let's face it, they were terrible last year. This is a team out of the top 10 teams in scoring. Like they were the team, the only team that did not make the postseason last year because of this, because of these numbers defensively. And I get it. You get a new voice in the room as a defensive coordinator, which I believe was necessary. And I'm sure that was a hard decision for Zach Taylor to get rid of a friend and a coach, obviously in Lou Anarumo, but that has to change. And so for me, when I watch them play tonight, like what I want to see is them flying around. I want to see them making those tackles that they missed last year, because that was another thing that hampered them as well. And I just want to feel like this team is excited to play defense. There's assignment sound. The same way we look at quarterbacks and we want them to manage the offense, defenses have it easier to get off to great starts as it pertains to preseason and seasons, like regular season games, because it's like see ball, hit ball, make play. And if they are out there doing that, screaming to the ball, seeing 4, 5, 6 hats at a tackler, that will give me great signs that this was a point of emphasis, and we have been working on it all training season, all training camp, all off season, and it's showing up on tape.
So I think that the reason we were excited and even talking about this is because they get off to these slow starts. And Brew has said a bunch of times correctly, if they, butterfly flaps its wings, things are different. But if you just switch week 1 from a loss to a win, they make the playoffs. And that's true. But had they made the playoffs last year, they would have won the same amount of playoff games they won last year, which is 0, which is why I don't think it's going to be different. That Bengals team last year, everybody acts like, oh man, they were the team nobody wanted to play if they got in. They were not playing some great ball at the end of the year. You guys remember their winning streak at the end? One game, the Cowboys with Cooper Rush have them beat. And then there is just a comedy of errors that leaves Micah beside himself, and they escape. They then play a Broncos team, second to last week of the year, that how good was the Broncos? Good enough to get beat by 24 in the playoffs. They go to overtime. The final game of the year against a limping Steelers team that the Bengals have to win to have a chance. The Steelers have the ball at midfield down 2 with a minute left. And so this idea that Cincinnati, oh man, if they had gotten in, if the Chiefs' backups had beaten Denver and Cincinnati had taken Denver's playoff spot, you know what Cincinnati would have done in the playoffs? The exact same thing Denver did. Get mollywopped by a real contender in Buffalo.
And I would have scored more than what did Bo Nix score? 7 points?
Well, we say that. They scored. They had a must-win. Theoretical win in your in-game in Week 17 against a Steelers team that hadn't won in a month. Yeah. They scored 19. What did
they do the last time they went to Buffalo in the playoff game?
Well, that was 3 years ago.
Why? Because of that guy that's right behind
Listen,
Wildes.
I think Burrow's great. I think he is a great player. But the idea that firing Lou Anarumo and hit the mark, not having Trey Hendrickson is all of a sudden now we're going to outscore people even more. I just don't buy it.
Well, look, they need their new defensive coordinator, Al Golden, to pull a Vic Fangio. Remember that 2 years ago, we thought the Philadelphia defense was horrific. Now, they had some good draft picks, but Fangio turned them around
the other
immediately.
thing is
that's what has to happen.
At least
not to the top of the league, but
at least
half of the league.
Philly went from best defense in the league to one of the worst back to the best. Because when Philly made the Super Bowl 2 years ago, they were the #1 defense. So at least they had the bones of it. Yeah. Like Cincinnati, I just don't think has the personnel. I don't think Lou Anarumo was the problem.
Bengals open up their real season in Cleveland. Colts Ravens tonight at 7. Lamar not playing, Derrick Henry not playing, but Indy's starting quarterback will be playing. Now, who that is, we don't 100% know. Both Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones will see some action, with AR starting and playing a quarter and a half. Greg, this is one of your adopted teams, oddly. Who should Indy's QB1 be?
Well, clearly they want it to be Anthony Richardson. And I'll cut straight through the gray area. Like, you can put or Daniel Jones in your depth chart as it pertains to starting quarterbacks and depth charts and all of that. But the first person that steps on that field is typically who you want running that team in that offense.
You're saying the starter for week 1.
The person that we see that is getting if practice starts or if that preseason game starts and we see Anthony Richardson take that field first, even though next week coach says, Shane Steichen says, you know what, Daniel Jones is going to then start. And but he's starting your first preseason game. He's getting the first initial snaps. He was our 4th round or our 4th overall pick a couple years ago. You naturally want to build around Anthony Richardson. The skill set, the potential is greater. Now, the reality of this is the better quarterback should play. And if Anthony Richardson he's in the position to where if it's his job to lose, Daniel Jones is going to know the offense. He's going to be able to run the offense. He just has this past history of, we kind of know who he is. But do we?
Yes.
Do we?
Bro, yes.
Do we in this system with this coach? Do we really know?
I don't think he's totally Nick apparently is totally written him off, which is fair. I would not go that far. Now he's a different type of player. But I wouldn't be shocked if a couple years from now he's not the same type of player, but has resurrected his career like a Geno Smith or a Sam Darnold.
I would be surprised.
Because he did show some moments in New York, and he had a ton of head coaches and offensive coordinators.
He's not.
So,
go ahead, sorry.
Well, to Greg's point, if it's close or Daniel's a little better, but it's still not huge, they got to go with Anthony Richardson. I get it. Jones may look like the better quarterback, but if he doesn't put a huge gap between him and Anthony Richardson in training camp, you got to go with Anthony Richardson.
Of course.
Because he's a better chance of being your future than Daniel Jones does.
So, Josh, tell me in my ear who the Titans' backup quarterback is, unless someone at the table knows. I don't remember. There's a reason I asked for that.
The Titans' current backup quarterback?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Now without,
everybody knows. So who is it? Kyle Allen? Brandon Allen. Okay, so there's a reason I'm asking that. I'll explain in a second. Daniel Jones is the same age as Lamar Jackson. Daniel Jones has, post-rookie year, has not had a 16-touchdown or 3,250-yard season. I am confident in who Daniel Jones is. I also, maybe more than most, care about quarterback age. Anthony Richardson was born 3 days before Cam Ward. He is 3 years younger than the Saints rookie, Shuck. He's 2 years younger than Nixon Penix. He barely played in college. He has 15 career NFL starts. And by the way, for your quarterback wins, he's 8-7. Now, completion percentage, not good. But if you have a 23,
it kind of matters.
The reason I ask is this: how bad does Cam Ward have to be for them to be like, you know what, buddy?
Cam Ward?
What? Hold on. I know he's the number 1 pick, and it's so different because this guy was number 4 pick. He's 23 though, so he's going to have a long leash. Now I am not. Let me make it very clear what I'm saying here. I am saying when you draft a 21-year-old with 1 year of starting experience, if 15 starts into his whole career, you pull the ripcord for the league's 29th best quarterback, that is organizational insanity. Am I betting a lot of money on Anthony Richardson? I'm not. But when you drafted him, you said it's all project, athleticism, combine stuff, but man, oh man, is he raw. To then jump out of the ship when somehow, give Steichen the credit, you've been able to win with him, and when the alternative is Daniel Jones, would be insanity.
Can Daniel Jones get you to the playoffs?
Anthony Richardson, if he was healthy, they had the 8-7 is how they got to the playoffs.
Less than 48% of his passes.
Therein lies the problem.
You can't do that.
Of course, he has to be better than he was better as a rookie than he was as a sophomore. So, it's not like he was 48% both years. I agree. If he goes out there and through half the season he's completing 48% of his passes, then he's not going to be your guy. But I don't understand the rationale of drafting a super young prospect, not playing him a lot, and then getting rid of him for a guy who we all know is not good.
So you don't think they should even brought Daniel Jones in?
I don't mind him as a backup because the kid might get hurt, the kid might tap out, the kid might complete 48% of his passes. I'm telling
during a game.
I think what we're seeing with Richardson is beyond the low completion percentage. I think is he picking up the things he needs to as a quarterback? Does he have a grasp of it? I think they really have questions is he going to be able to run the offense and everything like ever? Is that even a part of who he is?
I agree, but we have the answer of what it's going to look like if you hand the reins over to in a conference.
Winning a playoff game.
I completely disagree with you. You have Daniel Jones in this idea of he had all these. Look at the weapons that this Colts roster and this Colts offense have right now. You got a great running back. You got an offensive line, something Daniel Jones has never had. You got extensive weapons outside in the perimeter.
He's a year younger than Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't thrown for 16 touchdowns in 6 years.
I totally get that. But he can go through an offense. He can manage an offense. He can go through reads. He can be accurate with the football. All these things.
Well, he should have been doing that.
With Anthony Richardson, if you're on that offense, not only forget he quit on us. Forget that, because I think the guys in the locker room have moved on from that. If he gets in the huddle and you need a play that you need a guy to make, do they believe that he can make a play? Yes. More importantly, how does that play out? Probably with his legs. If we truly believe he can make that play. Daniel Jones, if you call the play, you feel both ways. You feel, you know what? He can get the ball there. He can be accurate. He can put the ball where he needs to be. He can go through the progression. Anthony Richardson, there's question there, especially when you got young receivers.
Daniel Jones can run. I know he doesn't look like he can run.
No, for both of them, the thing they do right now best is run. The difference is one guy has thrown 348 passes, and the other guy is 28 years old, and we know who he is.
We don't know who he is. What's different?
We know? How do you know who Anthony Richardson is, but you don't know who Daniel Jones is?
I don't know who Anthony Richardson is.
Correct.
Okay,
I'm saying he's raw, but you're saying we know who he went into Minnesota, won a playoff game. It was similar to why you believed in Baker so much. Baker took a team that was not good, won a playoff game. Then he was discarded.
Baker that year set the all-time, at the time, rookie record for passing touchdowns. The great year we talk about with Daniel Jones, he had 15 passing touchdowns and threw for 3,000 yards.
The Giants a good? Should have won
24.
Who was his receiver? Do you remember his receiver?
I know his running back was a guy named Saquon, who everybody loves. I know that.
That's basically all they can do. They leaned into his running ability.
This is where I think you just want to argue with me. You don't think Daniel Jones is good?
I don't think he's good, but I don't.
You just haven't taken it off the board.
I'm not taking it off the board. I didn't take Baker off the board. Didn't take Sam Darnold. We're with the era of quarterback renaissances.
Yes.
So the idea, the quote was it this offseason? Like Patrick Mahomes couldn't win on the Giants, and it wasn't like, of course he could have. That Giants team was a disaster. So to put it all on Daniel Jones, I think is unfair.
I'm not putting. at 28 years old, I think you've had fair opportunities. But
Darnold, we would have said the same thing about Geno.
No, but those guys, here's where we wouldn't. I know we're late. Those guys, look, we could pull it up. Those guys got benched and cast off. Daniel Jones was the day one starter every year, except for his rookie year when he came in week 2. Geno was never going to be the starter, was going to be the starter, got his jaw broken, was behind Phillip Rivers, other great quarterbacks. Baker got cast off by a lunatic franchise. Darnold got a couple of 3 years opportunities and then was a backup. We have seen him year after year after year. Again, I know this is going to be cast as now I'm the Anthony Richardson guy. All I'm saying is one guy is, you knew how raw he was. He has gotten less than one season. Like there's no level of how bad Cam Ward could be this year, where you wouldn't argue that next year he should be their starter over Daniel Jones. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.